All right, hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 2 between ptoil and Tilimorf as part of the Super Metroid multi-category extension tournament. This time, Tilimorf banned all bosses, and ptoil chose max percent GT code. So this will be a fun one. I'm Glove, and I'm joined by Mr. Guy Average. How you doing?
Hey, yeah. This is gonna be a cool match. They were pretty close in the other race in the
Hmm.
early game, so especially with the volatility of this category, I think um, this is definitely a toss-up.
Yeah. I mean, I would say like on movement alone, I would definitely give ptoil the edge. And that can show itself over a longer category. However, given that, as you said, this is such a volatile category, we really could see it go either way.
Right. Unlike Nintendo Power Percent, that's like an all movement category. There's really no other
Hmm.
way to cut it. But yeah, this category definitely has some um, tricks to it, so
Yeah,
could be an upset.
yeah. I expect both of these runners to take the more quote unquote traditional route of Varia then gravity and entering Lower Norfair using a gravity jump. However, we can see some variance in the early games in which safety items our runners decide to pick up. Like, I mean, basically everybody's going to be picking up charge. Uh, I think you have to put in a lot of work to make it worth your time to skip charge. Um, but for example, some runners like to pick up Spazer for the extra damage. On Fantoon, I know of a couple people who will even pick up Wave and try to go for some very risky X Factor strats. There's a lot of different things you can do.
Oh, Glove, you're gatekeeping.
Oh my god.
Forgot to leave.
Ugh.
And yeah, so now the race is on. Let's go.
Yeah, good luck to both of these runners. Uh, let's
Cool.
see.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just break down this category as
Mhm.
good as I can for those of you who haven't seen it. Um, it's pretty complicated to how we got to this point, but essentially, max percent GT code is a 100% category. You try to get the maximum percentage in the game, obviously, using Golden Teresa code, which is a debug code. And that code gives you 70 tanks, almost all the major items except for Screw Tack, 100 missiles, 20 supers, and 20 power bombs. And basically, what we want to do here is get to the GT code with as few items as possible, as few minor items as possible. So then when we execute the GT code, right, it gives us those items, and then we can go back and collect all the items that we skipped. Because the GT code replaces your equipment, it doesn't like add to it. So whatever item that you came there with, it's going to get erased. So the reason why we only have to skip minor items, major items, the way they're counted in the game's percentage is either a yes or a no. So even if you have 3 yeses for a certain suit, that still means yes. So it only adds 1 to the percentage counter. Unlike minor items, they actually add like +1 to your item counter. So that's why we have to collect the bare minimum, which is 0 tanks, 5 missiles, 5 supers, and 5 power bombs. And minor items are only defined as like items that there are multiple of. like there's multiple E-tanks, multiple missiles, multiple supers, obviously, but there's only one screw attack, there's only one high jump boots, right? So those are the major items. And yeah, I think that about sums it up. And like Glove said, for the most part, I'm sure we're gonna see a gravity route. There is a lava dive route, but since as I mentioned before, we have to execute the GT code with 0 E-tanks. Doing the lava dive with only Varia and high jump boots and 0 E-tanks is extremely difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just like as a result of that, sort of the nature of the category, I think in a lot of ways, it ends up not necessarily feeling as much like a quote unquote GT category compared to like the other two ones, GT Classic and Space Time. However, it still does have that GT trademark of like low percent into hundo percent. Uh, it's just instead of having this huge boss rush at the end, like with GT Classic, or just sort of ending the game like with Space Time, this time we get just this huge section of item collection, and it's just all about pure movement. And some really neat and unique strats for traversing areas. I think Meridia in particular becomes quite a bit different based on the fact that, in something like Hundo, Meridia is really defined by its major items. Go here, go down the sand pit, get spring ball, go up to plasma, go back down again. And we don't have to deal with that nonsense in the same way. So Meridia ends up looking just completely different.
Right, yeah. I would say honestly every area looks very different for
Yeah,
the
that's
most
true.
part.
Yeah, I think the only area that really looks similar is uh like Retro Brinstar cleanup looks pretty similar, I would say.
Retro Brand, yeah. Lower Norfair cleanup too.
Hmm. Yeah, Lower Norfair cleanup, you're just doing Hundo, basically, with a bit of an extra pass-through of GT, since we have no way of accessing GT missile prior to activating GT code. A somewhat interesting quirk in this game is that the statue that lowers the acid before GT, it actually checks if you have space jump. You'll never be able to lower that acid if you don't have space jump.
Yeah, that's a pretty funny check, honestly. As if you could get there without space jump, right? It's
Yeah,
impossible.
yeah, kind of makes you wonder if Deer Force knew and decided to be really obtuse about that one thing.
Yeah, maybe they did know, but the lava dives are like, we'll let the runners be able to do this, but
Yeah.
we're gonna screw them over by putting this statue here.
Yeah. Maybe they put that one statue there for the sole purpose of starting a bunch of arguments online about super jumps.
That'd be pretty funny.
All right. And we got two BT fights at the same time here. Our runners still quite synced up in this early game.
Yep, just your standard BT fight. You want to fire 5 P shots and then 4 missiles, I think, and then 3 missiles after BT BT stomach explodes. And then the first major divergence from any other category in this game, you'll see shortly, they'll have to skip the Terminator E-Tank, the first E-Tank you usually grab. It's deceptively difficult in some ways. If you don't have a strat for it, you can definitely just get knocked back into it super easy by those waivers.
Yeah, that right there is a bigger run killer than Fantoon.
Honestly, yeah. And you can see them taking it pretty safe.
Yeah, interesting there from Tilimorf. He wanted that missile drop, but didn't have any missiles left for that space pirate, so he just used bombs.
Interesting. Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah. Oh, and ptoil went on complete autopilot. It's been remarked with this multi-category tournament that we've, these 5 categories being like, you know, all right, missile the pirates. No, wait, don't missile the pirates. Just run through them. Do
Missile the pirates, but collect their drops.
yeah,
Missile the pirates, don't collect their drops. Run through them. Yeah.
yeah. It's like Business Center is the worst one, where every category has you doing something different for Business Center.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's just the nature of a multi-category tournament.
Mhm. All right, ptoil thankfully remembers to skip charge missile. Tilly doing the same, and we're seeing them both collect charge beam. Really, this item is just invaluable. In the Fantoon fight, like if you don't collect charge beam and you accidentally enrage Fantoon, you're not for sure dead without charge beam, but you had better be on point with shooting out those flames.
Yeah. And I think a while back, Susstream actually showed that for the gravity route, charge beam is actually faster because you can utilize it in the Fantoon fight to get some extra damage in. And
Interesting.
yeah, you can get a more consistent 2-round Doppler.
Yeah, I totally believe that.
So yeah, it's just he was like so much more comfortable and like without charge beam at that point. I think that's why he just doesn't grab it anymore.
And it looks like neither of our runners are going to be picking up Spazer. Spazer's a fairly popular choice to help you out in the Fantoon fight.
In the Fantoon fight, and then also in Upper Norfair, helps in a lot of rooms. Pretty subtle, but anywhere you can save those frames is pretty nice.
Yeah, I think Spazer is especially nice for room strats because you only pick up 5 missiles. So missiles aren't going to be exactly. You can't use missiles as much, basically.
Yeah.
Both of our runners setting up for great quick kill here. Alright, Pito gets it, nice.
Nice. Good redemption from last race.
And Tilly gets it as well. Very nicely done from both of our runners. Yeah, like in something like Nintendo Power Percent, it can be hard to get that great quick kill if you're not used to high jump boots. Here is just like, it's you have your any percent loadout, just less resources than you would normally expect.
Right, yeah. That I forgot to mention, yeah, with the high jump boots, if you're not comfortable with it, can be a bit jarring.
Mhm. Yeah, I'll tell you, I do like this route in general. One of the things that does make me a little bit sad though is I love like the GT Classic strats you can do with power bombs in Kraid. And you can see that in like Zero Tank dive route as well.
Right, the power bombs, so you can conserve your missiles, yeah. Those are pretty unique strats, I think, to only a GT code category.
Oh, ptoil! Holy crap, that was close.
Oh, he almost grabbed the tank.
Yeah.
Oh man, that is also another run killer.
Yeah, we see Tilly takes it nice and slow, but ptoil was right up on that tank.
Yeah, that's also definitely another place where you can easily just muscle memory grab that tank.
You can't grab the tank because part of this category is when you get GT code, GT rather than adding items to your inventory, it actually overwrites them. So if you pick up any items before activating GT code, then you can't get the maximum percent.
Yeah, and this only applies for minor items, obviously.
Mhm.
Major items, they work a little bit differently.
Yeah, I mean, it's like such an interesting quirk that most people would like, even if you run GT Classic, it's something you would never really think about, but it's what makes this category so unique. Like, I think if you could just collect whatever items you wanted beforehand, then GT Max wouldn't be nearly as compelling.
Yeah, definitely. It's really cool that GT code works the way that it does, let alone just like actually still being in the game.
Oh no, what happened to ptoil? He doesn't have missiles or supers.
Oh, I missed that. Damn. Big rip. Just grab speed missiles. Duh.
Yeah, and some pretty bad luck on that bug farm too. Not a single super in like what was that, like 4 or 5 rounds of bugs.
Dang, yeah. With that, Tilly takes the lead. We'll see if these guys choose to get wave or not.
Mhm.
I will say, like, if you take the X Factor strat pretty safe by doing two missiles, and then the X Factor, um, if you can consistently get that as a 2 round, that's most likely always going to be faster than trying to go for a 2 or 3 round Doppler.
Mhm.
Because yeah, the Phantoon fight, especially in this category, can get out of hand really quickly.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how clean you have to be with it for wave to save you time over picking it up.
Yeah, I know the wave detour takes like 50 seconds, I think.
For the way that Phantoon can go in this category, that's honestly not bad at all.
Right, exactly.
And I mean, there's definitely some nice added security, like even getting Spazer Beam. I've had times fighting Phantoon where it's just like, it's that like muscle memory thing of like missile, 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 and you're like, all right, I'll just do a Spazer charge shot. But one Spazer charge shot isn't actually enough to make Phantoon disappear. It's not enough damage.
Oh, right, yeah. I didn't think of that, but yeah, true.
So if you can have the fight as simply flowcharted as possible, that's a pretty big boon.
Exactly, yeah. Trying to rely on just Dopplers, it's not the best idea because you also have to rely on drop RNG, um, and proper like flame placement, all that stuff. It's doable, but just it's you really have to kind of rely on luck.
Yeah. Nice red tower from ptoil. It's interesting. I can't really think of another category that does red tower with this loadout. Like usually if you have high jump boots, you're gonna, yeah, if you have high jump boots, you're often going to have wave.
I would say the closest you could get is probably Nintendo Power Percent.
Yeah.
But you do have Ice and Spacer in that, so.
Hmm. Alright, Tilly taking the save. Both runners taking the save. This is a nice save to get, like.
Commentator approved.
Yeah. I've seen runs where players have skipped the save before Fantoon, and you know, if it works out for you, great. But if you die, that's somewhere around 20 minutes of time loss, so.
Yeah, generally speaking, 20 minutes of time loss is not what you're looking for.
Yeah. We've seen people come back from that in this category. This category has had some wild moments. But
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, and a defining feature with this category, ocean sucks to cross. Because you can't do the spark.
Yeah, you don't have enough health. Like, this is honestly like one of the biggest reasons why I like skipping high jump and just going for speed booster. Because, yeah, this room sucks.
Yeah, I respect ptoil strat here to just turn off high jump.
Yeah.
I wonder. Okay, so he does turn it back on now. Yeah, it's interesting to see. Because I mean, I guess you could potentially leave off high jump boots, up until like after attic or something, or excuse me, until like after bowling, because bowling without high jump is a lot easier. And ptoil got a really nice triple farm there, being able to get one of the ghosts. So he's going to be going into this fight just a little bit more equipped than Tilly, having one extra hit. Alright, and Tilly's going for some safer enraged strats here. ptoil entering the fight with a little bit more health and not taking as much damage can take it a little bit riskier. Alright, and Tilly is done. That was a nice
fight,
Fantoon.
yeah. That was a really good Fantoon. For only having 5 missiles max.
Yeah, like I think a 2 super Fantoon fight is perfectly viable, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. It honestly adds a bit of extra consistency to the fight, if you think about it. And then if you're ballsy enough, you can actually farm the flames.
Yeah, we'll see what strat Tilly wants to use for attic here. Unfortunately, most good attic strats want you to either expend a lot of energy or a lot of ballistics, and Tilly doesn't really have access to either. Oh, that was a pretty neat sort of hybrid strat there. Like a lower energy attic spark.
Try to conserve a little bit more of health, like trying to do the spark a bit later.
Yeah, we'll see how Tilly wants to take this next room. I know some people will just lay a power bomb in here and call it a day. Definitely a safer strat.
Yeah, not bad at all, honestly.
Yeah. Interestingly, you can actually do Bowling Spark without any tanks, but I'm not sure you can do it in a way that actually saves time.
Yeah, there is a way you can like do some mid-air morph ball manipulations to like slow your speed so you don't fall in the spikes. But yeah, I'm not sure if it. I don't think it would be faster, honestly.
Hmm.
Bowling Spark already only saves like a second. It's not massive or anything.
Yeah, now Tilly needs to be really careful here. He's out of the really scary stuff, but we have seen multiple runs in this tournament ended to fish and crabs.
Yeah, you're not out of you're not safe just yet. Also, these missiles will definitely screw you over.
Yeah, I think it's possible to run into this room quickly enough that you actually just grab the missiles running off the ledge.
Yeah, that's always a feels bad, man. I've done it before.
Alright, I think most people would say that Tilly is through all of the truly dangerous stuff that'll be coming up before the next reasonable save. I am curious to see if he wants to take a save prior to Lava Dive. There is one literally on the way. You go through that save room anyway. So it really only costs the time of taking the save.
True, yeah, actually I didn't think of that. I was trying to think of GT Classic and I was like, it's not really on the way. But I forgot that in this route, you take Frog Speedway, so there's a save right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like, the... Oh, stupid yapping moths. But yeah, I think most people would agree that the gravity jump isn't a tremendously difficult part of this category by any means, but it can go wrong. Still good? Okay. That looked fairly close to soft locking.
Oh yeah, that would suck. Imagine being frame perfect, but don't want to be frame perfect.
Yeah.
The only time when being frame perfect is actually a bad thing.
Oh, there's an empty skip too. Because gravity skip is one of those things where, you know, it's impossible to do, and you don't even worry about it until it happens to you once.
And then you realize how easy it is.
Yeah. Turns out frame perfect isn't actually that precise. Yeah, it looks like Tilly did take the save, so at this point, no matter what happens, he's not losing more than like a minute of time if he takes a death. Yeah, and with having that speed booster and gravity, there's not, at least to my knowledge, Tilly accidentally unequips the wrong suit.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it happens. But yeah, there's not really, to my knowledge, a great way to enter Gravitron quickly.
You can chronic boost. I'm pretty sure.
Hmm.
Because you enter from the top, right? Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you can chronic boost. It's possible.
How much? Chronic Boost only does like what, like 4 or 5 health to you?
Yeah, it's almost nothing.
So that's probably not a bad strat. All right, now Tilly has the last huge run killer to contend with here. And he gets it. Third try. Nicely done.
Nice. No
Avoid
resets.
that acid.
Oh yeah, the biggest feels bad, man, is when you get that gate glitch first try, and then you fall in the acid and you die. No worse feeling.
That's happened to all of us. There you go. Yep. From this point, Tilimorf's only two goals are don't forget items and get through rooms as quickly as you can.
Yeah. The most of the major choke points are gone. So it's really just a movement game now.
All right, was that a first try from ptoil?
Yeah, that was first try.
Nice.
It's still a race, folks.
Yeah, I mean, ptoil's, you know, about a GT fight behind. However, we still have like nearly an hour of game left. Yep, and now Tilly has to go back around for this one last GT missile. Some people will actually wait to collect the supers until their second pass through the GT room. As I understand it, that's to prevent lag from the power bombs, since you can use screw attack instead. However, I think it's hard. It's hard to make it actually faster, but I think optimally it is.
Which strat?
If you get GT Super on your second run through. Like
I never
you
thought
pick
of
it
that
up
actually,
faster.
yeah. You might be able to. I'm not sure if it's faster, but yeah, it's a good idea.
ptoil going for the nice blue fireball here. Blue fireball's a really hard trick.
Yeah. Super swag when you get it.
Mhm.
It just takes you all across the space jump statue room. And yeah, I'd say like this is probably the most annoying item to have to get in this category. It's just like, yeah, you have to go all the way around because you can't just get it in your first run through.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of funny. People like to say that 69% is hundo without all the annoying items. I kind of feel like GT Max is hundo without all the annoying items.
You know, I'd agree for the most part, honestly. Yeah, because you don't have to get spring ball. You don't have to get spring ball.
Yeah, no spring ball, no plasma.
Yeah. Well, no plasma means you can't go for plasma spark, so I don't know about that one.
Yeah, I've heard that strat saves at least a minute, I think, going
Yeah.
for plasma spark.
Possibly more, if your name is Mr. Guy Average.
Yeah, weird bit of code in there. Feels very prescient.
Yeah. D-Force knew.
Yeah, so right now the runners are going for basically a beat for beat Honda Lower Norfair. However, really as soon as we exit Lower Norfair, basically we see that change.
Yeah, I think the Norfair routing, in my opinion, is one of the cooler parts about this category. Because you can actually do it in one nice loop around.
All right. Interestingly, Tilly's going for a speed strat on the pirates here.
Speed strats. But it's slow.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the way Tilly's doing it, if he does it right, it's probably faster than just like standing on the one platform, charge plasma, then stand on the other one, charge plasma.
That
And
would
as
be
some,
interesting to time
yeah,
out, yeah.
I'd be curious. Yeah, and as someone who just learned the strat that ptoil is going for now, I can say it takes a lot of work to learn.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
not the easiest strat to go for.
And when it goes bad, it can be really hard to recover from. As we saw ptoil there, had a lot of trouble with that pattern. Looks like Ridley obnoxiously pogoed there right at the end for ptoil. You can get Ridley to death grab you out of a pogo, but it's pretty hard to do. I don't know how tight the window is, but Ridley has to be like right at the apex of his pogo.
There is a little bit of leniency to it, but yeah, if you it's really specific, like how you have to get that death grab during a pogo. And sometimes, like, if you get really bad RNG, it just won't matter and he'll screw you over anyways.
That's Ridley.
It's Ridley, yeah.
Oh, ptoil just misses that speedball.
Almost. These strats are really cool. Having plasma and screw attack, you can just blaze through all these enemies.
Yeah, absolutely. I liked Tilimorf did manage to get the D boost in Firefly after the E tank, which honestly, like the way that he did it and the way that like ptoil is going for it right now is a bit harder because you can't just buffer the inputs during the item get.
You know, it would be really nice if you could somehow get that power bomb that Tilimorf just got, without having to do a big loop around. It would save a little bit of backtracking.
Oh, if you could just like escape the way you came,
Yeah.
yeah, that would be nice.
Now, if this was Project Base, you'd be able to just break crumble blocks and go through them.
Yeah, you'd also have some really funky physics going on too.
Funky. You mean perfect.
Whatever you're into. All right. So Tilly is finished with Lower Norfair, and now does the really funny wave missile pickup. You don't need to go get wave, so you just get that missile and nope out of there.
Oh yeah, you can do a really cool like spring ball strat coming back, and then it takes you all the way back up to the top of the room.
Oh, interesting.
At the top of single chamber, I mean.
Mhm. Oh no, Tilly held the wrong angle button.
Rip.
That's so
No
easy
F
to do.
flag.
I honestly feel like it's like I feel like it is harder to not spark when you have a charge shine spark versus like trying to not pop a spike suit, because you hear that charge shine spark sound and you're like panicking. It's like, okay, I can't pop
Right.
this, and then you
Yeah,
just
with a
angle it.
spike suit, you have like all the time in the world, so you take it real easy, but yeah, with the charge shine spark, you're like, go, 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 go. Makes sense. Oh, and ptoil didn't get it either. Dang.
Yeah, I think he fell into the lava. Yeah, and then coming up here is going to be. I'm trying to think if there's any other category where you would do cathedral if you have speed. Uh, and I don't think so, because I think anytime normally that you're getting speed, if you need cathedral missile, you would just get it on the way in.
No, yeah, this the next set of rooms are very unique. I think it's really only max percent only.
Hmm.
It's really cool these set of rooms because you have all the items that in the game, so you really have a lot of strategic freedom to come up with your own strat.
Yeah, if you're somebody who likes entering the lab and doing just, trying to figure out really fun ways to get through rooms, this is absolutely the category for you.
Yeah. I mean, this is where, like, Susram shines the most. He
Absolutely.
comes up with every strat on his own.
That was really neat from Tilimorf. I'm not sure if that was a backup, because Tilly realized he didn't get the taps he wanted, or if he just mains that mock ball. But that was a pretty clever way to get through the room without blue echoes. Time to say hi to our buddy Croc.
Bye, Croc. I think this is... Oh, wait, no, actually. In all bosses, you would also have Plasma Beam for this, but... Yeah, this category and all bosses are really the only ones you have Plasma Beam for. All the other ones you have to fight Croc. Basically as intended.
Yeah, for this tournament, yeah. Alright, and Tilimorf will not be going for the incredibly difficult to perform spike suit that really doesn't save you time.
Yeah, I think the best place to use it is probably nowhere. Honestly, if I'm trying to think. Oh, Pito got the spike suit though. Nice job.
I guess you could use it for Indiana Jones.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah.
that's slower though. Is it? Maybe, I don't know actually. Because then you don't have to like power bomb the blocks. You can just morph over.
Yeah, I mean, that's
So,
what you use the Spike Suit for in Nintendo Power Percent, right?
you actually use it to get over to grapple beam, which saves a bit more time.
Oh, okay. From Indiana Jones, yeah. That
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, I mean, of course, the alternative here that Cesarame has mentioned before is you can use the Spike Suit to perform full happy after doing Bot's Wound Skip.
Right. Just
uh,
do Batoon skip with a spike suit.
Cesarame has done it.
If he can do it, so can you.
Really not true. But yeah, if I recall correctly, Cesarame has also gone on the record saying that that's actually slower. So
Man, rip.
And this missile right here is the whole reason that we can't restructure Norfair to do like some cool shenanigans, to do like a speedball to crumble shaft or whatever.
Yeah, this and Cathedral are really the main ones that restrict routing, I would say.
Hmm.
And then for Meridia, we have the sand pits, and that really sucks. If you could go through the bottom of the sand pits, that would really change routing a lot. It's unfortunate that the sand pits are one way.
Yeah. By design, granted.
By design. Wow. I can't believe the devs actually wanted you to go down a sand pit and then walk all the way around, back up to Aqueduct and to go down the other sand pit.
It was a different time back in the 90s. They had to go down sand pits both ways.
It was a different time indeed. Oh yeah, and then Tilly, thankfully not forgetting Kraid missiles, because those are definitely easy to forget.
Yep, easy to forget in Hundo, easy to forget in Max GT. And I guess 69 if you have a really oddball route.
Right, if you do PRKD.
Hmm.
Although, actually, I don't know if that would be hard to forget.
I guess if you're used to it, yeah.
I feel like that would be like a bit easier to remember, because it's your first visit through.
Yeah, I guess one of the advantages of a PRKD type route for 69 is that there aren't really any like, oh, this item's easy to forget, because you're trying to traverse rooms as efficiently as possible. Like your path through the map is pretty nice.
Yeah, you're like every item you're getting is always in your way.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally no detours, I feel like. Aside from maybe sand pits.
Yeah. Oh. I know. Tilly just wanted to use that spark to kill the pink pirate. That guy had it coming.
Also,
We've
I guess
got-
I'll
Sorry. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'll touch upon like there is another route for wreck ship where you can skip the bowling statue cutscene. But then that requires a lot of health management reduction to try and set up for a crystal flash.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got an interesting route divergence here. Beach is kind of one of those areas that you can do on either of your pass-throughs. And I don't think it makes a huge amount of difference.
Right. It really only matters when you're trying to go for bowling skip. You can do beach later to try and maximize kind of that damage that you take after
Mm-hmm.
Dragon and whatnot.
Yeah, and I mean, truly, there are a couple of people who will ever go for bowling skip.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, it just requires a lot of setup, and it's kind of somewhat esoteric knowledge, I guess.
I would say the setup is honestly probably the hardest part, because
Mhm.
you have to like watch your health for so long.
Yeah, I think it's mostly just not necessarily worth learning for the time save when you're in a tournament with 5 categories.
I mean, a minute time save is pretty big.
Not really how much it saves.
Yeah,
Wow.
close to. If you do everything right, obviously.
Hmm. Nice wample jump. Yeah, interesting that Tilly's doing a sand pit as well prior to Dragon.
Yeah, I was about to mention. I was like, wait, did Tilly do Dragon yet?
Now, I guess since I guess it doesn't really make a difference.
I guess not. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I mean, yeah, after Dragon, I guess you would just do the left sandpit, right? So,
Hmm. This is slightly inefficient from Tilimorf though.
right,
You would
yeah.
generally get that mean streak missile on your way out of Meridia,
Yeah, that's
but
the
it's
fastest
really
way
not.
out.
Yeah, it's really not a big deal. Like it's very minor in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, interesting, like, differences in routing in Meridia. There are a lot of ways that you can do this, since, as you said earlier, there's no restrictions on which major items you need to get because you have them all already. So it is just beat Dragon and then get all the items. So
yeah, and we do have very nice Botwin and Dragon fights. You know, just as fast as they could ever possibly be. You can't do better than microwaving.
yeah, with a charge, plasma, and then X-ray, you can just run out the iframes of the bosses, and the shot is still spawned there in the same position. So basically, the same shot is just damaging the boss for multiple frames. So just destroys.
I guess that is an interesting quirk of Tilimorf's run there was, since he does the one sandpit before, he has to pick up Botwini on his first pass through.
Does he? I mean, I don't know if he has to.
Well, I don't think he's coming back to this area because he only has one more sandpit.
Right, but how do you get to the sandpit? Don't you have to go back to?
I guess that's true, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess he could have done it later.
I mean, if you had to get plasma beam, then yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what our two runners are going to look like leaving Meridia.
Yeah.
It won't be until they hit the elevator that we know for sure how much of a difference there is between them.
Yeah, this is interesting. ptoil still has beach and then the two sandpits, and Tilly only has one sandpit, so I think Tilly's probably ahead here.
Yeah, and if Tilly does end up taking this race, that would mean we would have a game 3, which would be 69%. Which is a pretty nice category.
Nice.
I mean, in all seriousness, it is a really cool category. One of my favorites.
Yeah, all the routing options are really nice to have. It makes races really interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's some races where it's like, yeah, I can't tell you for sure who's ahead and by how much until, like, terrain elevator.
Right, yeah.
Is this ptoil? Are these ptoil's last pickups for Meridia, aside from Main Street?
Oh, did he do left sand? Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Yeah, so these are pretty close. I think Tilly has just a little bit of an edge, especially given he's already picked up Main Street.
Yeah. I forgot, ptoil actually already picked up a sandpit. I thought he still had both. Yeah, so there you go. They're in the same room now.
Yeah, not an insurmountable lead by any means. Like we still have wrecked ship, as well as a bunch of cleanup.
Yeah, this race has been pretty close so far. Actually, it looks like ptoil might take the lead here.
This is incredibly close. Both runners entering Everest at the
Yeah.
same time. I agree with Tilly's decision to skip that green gate glitch, but it's seeming like that did cost him the lead.
Yeah. I mean, only 5 supers, like, that's...
Yeah.
You might
I
not
think
want
it
to
was
miss that.
absolutely correct to do so. And there's still plenty of more race for him to take back the lead, of course. Oh. Yeah, I do love the bounce ball strat for entering Alpha Peeps, but you do run the risk of getting stuck in a Vile Plume. Now the wrecked ship segment is kind of interesting. Wrecked ship is a little bit awkward to route, because so many of the items, like there's what? So in that first room in wrecked ship, there's spooky missiles, left supers and right supers, all that you have to collect and then go up. So it feels a little bit weird to go through. Oh, normally it wouldn't be a big deal, but Tilly really didn't want to Kojak to super there.
Yeah,
Like
only having 2 supers, this is kind of, I hope that doesn't come back to bite him. It's interesting, I don't think, like, I've ever seen a low super count coming into wreck ship. I don't know how that's gonna play out.
Yeah, I mean, I think Tilly used somewhere in the range of like 10 on the first green gate glitch attempt. So that hurt him quite a bit. I mean, he is getting 10 more supers here, so I don't think it'll really be an issue.
Right, yeah, actually, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be an issue anymore.
It's still possible he could lose a little bit of time in Turian, just not being able to use supers where he would want to and having to supplement with missiles. But that's a really minor time loss. Like with a category like this, you're never going to not have enough missiles.
Yeah, no. In the end, you get 325 missiles, so... You're really gonna have to be trying to run out of missiles here.
You know, looking at these two racers, it feels like ptoil is just gaining like fractions of a second over Tilly in every room, and it's just compounding at this point. Such that ptoil has gotten himself like like a solid one-room lead here.
So if they tie, they're gonna have to tie within a second of each other. If it is within a second, they're going to have to re-race this category again.
Yeah, I mean, it is a possibility. For sure. I mean, when it's
Yeah,
this close, we can see differences even in something like Turian,
right, yeah.
bringing the runner back into it.
Might come down to baby skip. Never know. Yeah, like Attic coming back and then West Ocean. These rooms are really cool when you have all these like equipment items, because you never see it in any other category. It's a great way to show off your expertise in the movement items.
Yeah, it seems like Tilly actually gained like a non-trivial amount of time compared to ptoil by going for that spark as opposed to ptoil's extended space jump. That space jump was fairly slow.
Oh yeah, so if you did do bowling skip, that would be the cutscene that you would skip. Is that bowling statue? Instead, you just crystal flash on the outside part of the ship, and then you backdoor gravity suit, and then you can get these items first before any other item in wreck ship, and that does save almost a minute, if I remember correctly. But it does require a lot of health management, a lot of ammo management, and then you have to know actually how to do the clip itself. It's not too complicated, just involves getting stuck in the wall, and then you x-ray climb up.
X-ray climbing's so obnoxious though.
I mean, you only have to do like 10, you know? It's not that bad.
And they're all on screen, yeah.
Yeah, imagine doing an off-screen.
That couldn't be me.
Yeah.
I was so excited to run any percent glitched because Chabo was like, "Oh yeah, the hardest part for new runners is like the X-ray deboost," and I was like, "Well, heck yeah, that's like one of my favorite tricks." That's not the hardest part. I swear to God, the off-screen movement's impossible.
Yeah. If you don't practice it, it's tough. That would be with Robot Flush, Big Tim, for sure. There's a lot of extra movement and a lot of extra door transitions. Apart from just the bowling cutscenes, you know, itself.
It's kind of neat. We saw two different wraparound shots from our two runners there. Ptoil went with that. I think it might even be full beam specific wraparound shot, whereas Tilly went with the really generic one that works with a lot of loadouts.
Yeah, the one ptoil did is technically a bit faster. And I would honestly say it's kind of easier. There's big window for you to actually get the shot.
Interesting.
You just have to have like a certain jump height, so you have enough downwards velocity to make the shot go in the right position.
And despite ending up right by Tyrion, we're not through with the item collection yet. We've still got some Brinstar cleanup to get through.
There's still 10 minutes or 15 minutes of cleanup left. So strap in.
Yeah, the like big pink and green Brinstar stuff is interesting. Like the green Brinstar items cleanup is pretty unique to this category. And then Big Pink is like very similar to Hundo, but slightly different with the addition of Spring Ball and Space Jump.
And Screw Tech as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only other category where it's like that is in map completion. And then, you know, run map completion.
I don't know, this game is a lot of map tiles. Seems like a pretty big task.
Well, would you rather get all the map tiles or all the items? Think of all the text box you have to wait through. Map completion, you just zoom right through them. Doesn't that sound more appealing?
Yeah, I mean, either way, you're picking up 2 more suits than I would really like.
Good point, honestly.
I mean, I guess you don't have to pick up suits for map completion. Maybe it is a better category.
You don't have to.
Yeah.
But there is some workarounds that you're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
Just a bit. Essentially, max percent is you want to exploit a debug code that was left in this game that replaces your item set. So this debug code, right? You want to activate it with the lowest amount of items possible. So that way, once you execute the code, you can go back and pick up all the items that you left behind. And the final total percentage is 135%. And that includes the items that you get from the GT code, in addition to all the items that you pick up afterwards.
Both of our runners, unfortunately, don't get Mission Impossible. ptoil did get the really neat spark into the Mission Impossible room, though, or like around that area. which is honestly my favorite part of like all of Big Pink in this category or Hundo. I think that spark is really cool. And ptoil also manages to open that wave gate without falling back down, which sounds really easily, but it's hard to explain why. I think it's just sort of like an unintuitive set of button presses. It's really easy to let go of jump or whatever.
Yeah, if you're not like if you don't fully understand how the like space jump, wall jump mechanics kind of work, it's really easy to just like not even unspin, and then you accidentally shoot forward. You don't get the gate to open. There's a lot of weird quirks to how space jumping, spin jumping, wall jumping, how all that works, and they're all considered different entities.
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, one of the reasons that I do speedrun this game is that this game really rewards you for taking the time to understand its movement systems, which are very different than any other game, really.
Yeah, this game is so unique. The mechanics, the physics system is just so in depth, and especially for like a game of its time, like releasing '94, it's really cool. So much you can do with it.
Is Tilly going for the clip? Or, oh no, he was just having trouble screw attacking those blocks. It can be really hard to do stuff blind right there. Yeah, now we're in the blue Brinstar section. From here on out, the category is actually very similar to Hundo. With the notable difference of the fact that our runners still have not picked up Terminator E-Tank.
Right, that is, yeah, interestingly enough, it's actually the last item you're going to get in this category. Whereas usually it's one of the first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, really the only other categories that are going to skip it, skip that Terminator E-Tank are going to be like RTA categories.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe for some glitched nonsense. Yep, and I believe at this point, ptoil only has, what, 3 more items until he has 4 more items?
Yeah.
So just about through with this item collection, and then on to Turian.
On to Turian and Mother Brain. Yeah, this category basically ends like how Hundo does. Pretty much once you get into Retro Brinstar.
Very, very similar movement, which means that it's been quite optimized.
And there we go. Both runners hopefully have 135%. Let's just beat the game.
Yeah, I didn't see any discrepancies between their runs, unless something happened in like Meridia. But I think they both got it. Certainly don't want a run to come down to that item percent screen.
Yeah, that would definitely suck. And both of these runners are definitely, I think, just baby skip apart, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Tilly could still make a comeback.
I believe Tilly is a fair bit newer to baby skip than ptoil is. But both of these runners have definitely shown themselves as capable of baby skipping. And ptoil about to set up for baby skip right here.
Ring ball baby skip.
Really good Metroid rooms from both of these runners.
Yeah, no real hiccups, which is nice. It's the benefit of having so many super missiles.
Oh no!
Oh, no.
If Tilly
Pito, it
can
was a
catch up.
joke. It was a joke. You're not supposed to actually fail it.
If Tilly can get this, that would be huge. Oh no!
Well, they're still about even.
Yeah, no time won or lost here. You know, unfortunately for Tilimorf, that was one of his last big opportunities to make up this time discrepancy.
Yeah, not sure if there's really much else that can happen.
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, there's still stand-up to contend with. But if stand-up causes a lead change, then it'll be because something disastrous happened. Like,
Yeah.
it's not very likely for ptoil to accidentally get ketchuped so many times that he's below 7 tanks.
And before Pito gets ketchup so many times that he can't do stand up anymore. Now, surely that can't happen, right?
I don't know, does ptoil have a cat? Maybe a cat would like knock the controller out of his hands.
Of course, it would be the cat.
Yeah. Alright, well, ptoil is safe from his possibly imaginary cat this time.
Bless imaginary cat.
Yeah, at this point, with having X-ray especially, there are relatively few ways that ptoil can actually soft lock here. Like, pretty much all he can do is get a baby in a bad position, and that would do him in.
Even then, there are ways to recover. But yeah. Actually, no, that can't happen. Because the baby doesn't detach from you until you have full health. And it's literally impossible for you to get like full health before it's dead.
Oh, interesting. Oh no, ptoil.
Try to go for blue bomber.
No, he diagonal sparked and bonked.
Rip. Alright, will Tilly go for blue bomber again? Let's find out. I guess
No.
not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if you're Tilly, at this point, you have either stopped watching your opponent's stream to focus, or you have to account for the fact that it's close enough that stream lag could do you in if you think you've already lost. However, ptoil does finish in first place with an official racetime.gg time of 1:25:49. GG.
GG.
And with that, that does mean that he wins the series overall. And Tilimorf now finishes with an official racetime.gg time of 1:26:24. GG, really close race. Really well run from both of our competitors.
Yeah, that was such a close race for most of the run.
Mm-hmm. All right, it looks like we are joined now by Tilimorf. Tilimorf, GG.
GG.
GG, man.
A fun race.
Yeah, you guys were close for a lot of the time. Were you watching the restream at all?
I had it up and I was looking like during fanfares when I could, but not like the entire time.
Right.
All right, and we're joined by ptoil as well, the winner of today's race and of this series overall. GG.
Yeah, GG ptoil.
Hello?
Hello.
We can hear you.
Hey, GG on the great race.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Yeah, really, really close for both of you. We saw a fair few lead changes in there.
Yeah, I had it up on the side. I was focusing on staying on my game most of the time, but I took a few looks over till he had the lead in the beginning, and then it was really intense, I guess.
Yeah, I
The
think
lead change in there.
I think the last lead change happened right as you two were exiting Meridia. You two both entered Everest at the exact same time, but ptoil was coming from above because you saved the Main Street missile until later, whereas Tilly got it earlier.
Yeah, it looked like most of our divergence, I guess, route changes were in Meridia.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tilly, you had a pretty interesting route. I kind of like the doing a sandpit before Dragon. That definitely is pretty interesting. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that before.
Oh, nice. I never really looked at runs before I started running this, so I just figured I'm gonna do what feels good to get all the items.
Gotcha, yeah.
Makes sense. Both of those runs were actually PBs for me.
Oh wow!
Nice.
Nice.
Congrats.
Yeah, so ptoil with this, it looks like you will be advancing in the losers bracket to face the winner of first we have the Prankard versus Thornado match, and the winner of that will go up against Cash Mod. So you'll be facing the winner of, I guess, the overall winner of those two matches.
All right, cool.
Yeah,
You got some
Good
time
luck
to
with that.
prepare.
yeah, absolutely. Tilimorf, unfortunately, as this was the losers bracket, this was your last match in the tournament, but I think this was a really good showing from you.
Yeah, either way, being knocked out of the tournament, I thought it was a blast just taking part, and all the unique categories were definitely fun to practice and learn the different intricacies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so what would you say is your favorite category then?
Of the 5,
Of the 5, yeah. Now that you've
uh,
raced them all a bunch.
probably GT Max.
Nice.
It's just, I like 100%, so it's an absolute 100% run.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, it's good to see you go out on your favorite category and with such a good race too.
Yeah, I don't really feel like I had a bad run other than, the typical every mistake in every room. GG once again, ptoil.
Yep,
Good
GG.
luck with whoever your next opponent ends up being.
Yeah, thanks.
Cool. Well, if none of you guys have anything left to say, I think we can wrap this up. Congrats to you, P2 again on the win, and GG to both you guys. Yeah, this was an awesome race, both of them to see, match 1 and match 2. Match 1 being Nintendo Power Percent, this one Max Percent. Really close. And yeah. Anything you want to say, Glove?
Be sure to go follow both of these runners. Go follow ptoil. Go follow Tilimorf. They put on 2 really incredible races tonight, and you can see more Super Metroid content on their respective channels. And if you would be so kind, follow the comms as well. I've been Glove, and I've been joined today by Mr. Guy Average. And from both of us, and from everyone here at Speed Gaming, we will see you next mission.